Hello, Allison Ziegler here. I'm the creator and founder of Allison Ziggy, and today you are here for the Confidence Masterclass workshop where we are going to be upgrading your confidence and your self-image to attract the life, love, and career of your dreams. I invite you to grab a journal. I invite you to grab a drink, something that makes you feel comfortable, something that makes you feel cozy. This is going to be time that you are dedicating to yourself and working towards your future vision where you're headed next, and you're just going to feel good. I don't want you to approach this like this is an assignment, this is something that you have to get right. You are your guide. I am simply helping to facilitate the energy to help you step into that confident version of yourself that has been waiting to break through. Before I start any kind of energy work, I like to first invite you to ground and center and really fully come into this space. We're going to be doing an alter ego meditation later in this training, so it's no need to go into a full meditation, but I invite you to set the intention to fully become present for the duration of this masterclass. Invite your energy into the space. You can invite your higher self into the space, whatever feels aligned and inspired for you, whatever you need to just feel yourself start to straighten up and feel yourself start to shift into what you perceive to be that confident, energetic, badass version of yourself. So we've set the intention. We've invited this into the space. Go ahead and make any adjustments that you need before we go ahead and dive into this class. We'll be doing a meditation later. Meditation is all related to the nervous system and making the inner voice louder than anything else that is going on in your external reality. When you're able to turn inwards, it allows you to be in control of your reality as opposed to at the whim of your circumstances, and you're able to create your own self-image, and the things that are going on externally are simply neutral instances. It's not like you don't have awareness of what's going on in your external reality, but you don't let it infiltrate your energy and change the way that you perceive yourself. Confidence is the ability to control the rooms that you walk into, control your energy, regardless of what is going on externally. It's this sense of things react to you as opposed to your energy is reacting to the things around you. I invite you to really start feeling into this. And you might notice yourself already wanting to make shifts. One of the things that I do whenever I start to feel this way, I'll change my outfit, I'll change my hair, I'll start to feel the shifts energetically happening. Everything that happens throughout the context of this is happening on purpose. I invite you to go ahead and trust that and lean into that feeling. We set the intention at the beginning of this masterclass to call your higher self into this space, but I'm going to share some of my intentions that I set for you through the duration of this. You will leave this masterclass feeling confident AF. This is going to change the way that you relate to your goals and your perceived manifestation gaps. This is one of the biggest mistakes that I made early on in my manifestation journey was I set goals from lack and from a place of my life needs to change. I'm going to focus on manifesting it instead of paying attention to what's not working. That's called spiritual bypassing, and that is going to keep you stuck in a loop forever. You also shift from a place of why isn't this here yet and focusing on what's not in your life to a place of understanding that you have exactly what you need in this present moment. And you're going to get to a place where you're actually excited for what's next, even if it's a challenge, even if it's an obstacle, even if it's been something that you've been putting off or haven't wanted to deal with. You will create the confidence within yourself to approach this from a completely new state, again, where those circumstances react to you. And we're going to tap into the version of yourself who originally felt that confidence. This is the purest source, the purest version of you embodying this energy. We're also going to create this definition of confidence for you because these questions and these answers are going to be different for every person. You are your own guide, and your intuition is going to have the answers for you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you the definition of confidence. That's going to come from within, and you're going to know how this relates to you and the things that you say that you want. Make sure to grab a pen, grab a journal, grab tea, whatever you feel like you need to be comfortable. Again, if you start to shift, if you're like, I don't like this outfit, go ahead and change. Just make adjustments because this is proof that the energy is coursing through you. If you feel like you want to start moving your body, if you're feeling the energy moving, chances are there's something that's looking to come through you. Let it happen. Part of trusting yourself and part of your intuition is listening to the cues of your body without judgment, letting things flow through you without making it wrong, and also not being too quick to assign meaning to what's happening. Everything in your reality is neutral. And as soon as you accept what is happening as neutral, you allow yourself to experience it and you are still in control of what's happening. Fall 2024 planners are still available. This is what I use to journal whenever I'm in these practices. I bring this with me basically everywhere. These are still available. You can find the link on my Instagram. There's links all over. Send me a message if you have any questions. This is essentially a masterclass in a notebook. There's a lot of different practices contained within the planners, but this is a really great reference of time where you can look back, especially if you're interested in attending these live masterclasses, where you can kind of have all of the information documented for this period of time in your life and revisit it sort of as a time capsule. Those are still available if you are interested in the fall planners. I dove right into the energy work, or should I say the energy was just coursing and flowing through today, but I am Allison Ziegler, and I am here to help you step into that confident, badass version of yourself who attracts your desires as opposed to forcing things to happen. I'm a life coach. I'm a Reiki master. I'm a breathwork facilitator. Very into energy work. Confidence was the one area of my life where I struggled the most. Even when I looked like I had it all on paper, it never felt like enough. It never felt like I was going to be good enough for the things that I actually wanted because I didn't feel that safety within myself. It wasn't until I learned about somatic healing, I learned about the subconscious mind, I learned about myself on a deep, intimate level. I put my birth chart information on here because that has been so instrumental to understanding that I'm designed in a way that I didn't need to judge myself. That was when I finally gave myself permission to start living my life, and things got so much easier. You get to this place in your life where even if things aren't working out, you have your own back and you are always okay. Doesn't matter what's going on externally, your internal foundation is so strong and so solid that you will just get to a place of certainty within yourself. And that's all that confidence is this certainty that regardless of what happens, you are on the right path and you are headed in the direction of where you're meant to be going. This isn't the case until you create this within yourself. But when you get to that place, you aren't rattled for days on end. You don't find yourself getting a text message from someone and you can't think straight anymore and you don't know what to do. You don't get an email from your boss and you're like, oh my gosh, what do I say? What do I do? You're not calling everyone in your phone book when you need to make a decision. You're at this place where you are in control of yourself, and therefore your reality shows up with the respect that you're showing for yourself. That was the biggest area of life. I share my experiences. I thought of myself as a storyteller and a writer, and writing's been a huge part of reprogramming my subconscious mind. I almost always incorporate journal prompts into what I share. But I share my awakening journey because I know that these experiences are not unique to me. And I want you to find lessons for yourself and hopefully have someone along that journey that you can look up to, someone who's been there. Also, to speak from a place of wisdom. I've experienced these things. I've worked with clients who have experienced these things. And at the end of the day, the more that we talk about it, the less alone we all feel. And that's ultimately going to make your journey so much easier. I invite you to check out the podcast and check out the Substack where I release pages from my book. In today's workshop, we're going to meet your confident alter ego and we're going to step into your confident future self now. I want to share with you some quotes that have just completely changed my perspective lately in terms of what it means to be confident and what confidence truly means. I heard this yesterday and it completely changed my perspective on everything. Either worry or pray, but don't do both. I used to be someone who really feared the future. Anxiety ruled my life. Anytime I made a big decision, I would call my dad. I would call someone in my family and ask them what they thought the best next course of action was. And it was because I didn't want to be responsible for whatever came next because I didn't trust that it was going to be favorable. And that's a really dangerous place to live life from. Life is not meant to be feared. It's meant to be experienced and it's meant to be lived. And when you don't trust yourself, you are cutting yourself off from that universal energy and you're cutting yourself off from what it even really means to be alive. And your need to have certainty of the outcome is, again, it's all just blocking you. It's essentially putting a wall in between you and that which you're desiring. And I invite you to start to loosen up this need to control things, these need to have it figured out. And this is where putting the emphasis back on yourself really is how you regain your power in unknown situations. Another quote that I absolutely love that changed my perspective: there's no right or wrong decisions, simply honest or dishonest ones. When you are confident in who you are, you will be able to act from a place of faith and take steps in the direction that your heart and soul are truly desiring to go, without worrying about the optics, or about worrying if other people understand it, or worrying about if other people get it, or what it looks like from the outside perspective. You will live your life for you. And this does present with its challenges. I don't want to lie to you and say, once you start choosing yourself, everything is going to be easy from here on out, because that's just not the case. But you get stronger as you start to trust yourself, and as you take actions in these directions, you start to train yourself to believe that it's safe to follow the path. And safe means different things. I would rather look back and know that I did everything I could within my control towards my desired outcome, so that even if it didn't happen, I had no regrets. I think that there's virtue to staying within a comfort zone. It's where your ego really thrives. It's where, before you do inner work, will feel really comfortable. But that discomfort of looking back on your life and knowing that you didn't push yourself, and that you just silenced the voice of your heart and the voice of your soul, that is going to be far more devastating in the long run. If you don't know what your intuition is telling you or which way to go, this is a key indicator. Just thinking about, what is the most honest action I could take? And in this world, you can get so used to masking that you think that honesty comes with consequences. And maybe it does, but anything that you lose by being honest was never yours to begin with. The third quote, and I don't know where this came from, but it really is this embodied confidence: no one will believe in you until you believe in you. And really sitting with this and really thinking about, what does it mean to believe in yourself? And this is where these journal questions are coming up. The 3 questions are: what does it mean to trust yourself? What is your relationship to uncertainty? And what is your relationship to safety? I'm going to give you some time to actually journal on these. We talked about safety, we talked about uncertainty, but really sit down and ask yourself about your values. What does it mean to trust yourself? And go ahead and journal on these. I'm going to give you a minute or two. So go ahead and write. I'm gonna give you another minute or so. Pen to paper is one of the shortcuts to accessing your subconscious mind. Even if you don't know what to write, you might find yourself just automatic writing or scripting. Things might just come to you through this process. Let it flow and edit it later. There's no need to judge what comes out now. finishing up. So just getting clear on these questions. Now, the last questions that I asked you were designed to kind of move energy. We're talking about this relationship with uncertainty. We're talking about this relationship to needing to know what happens next. And we're talking about this relationship to trusting yourself. It's all related and it's all tied to your confidence. And with confidence and major arcana, I want to share this term that I created in this practice that is a little bit witchy. And it's essentially borrowing energy that maybe you don't feel in the moment when you really need to. Major arcana, if you're familiar with the tarot deck, it refers to the highest cards in the deck. But with major arcana, it's kind of an item of symbolic significance. So whenever you create an alter ego or you start to step into a new energy, if you need to borrow energy that you don't currently have, you can use an item to represent this change. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and kind of show. So for me, I have this crystal that I got in Sedona. And the crystal itself, I'm sure that it probably has some energetic healing properties that relate to this on a scientific level. But when I purchased this crystal, I decided that this meant a shift in my life. Like this crystal represents this transformation that I'm making. This crystal is the crystal that I meditate with, but beyond that, it represents safety and it reminds me of like a child with a blanket, if you know, or you think about in Harry Potter, there's an invisibility cloak. So these items of significance, you can use these to tap into your confident future self, where if you feel like you need to borrow energy and you're not fully in this energy yet, you can use an item of significance. And I refer to these as major arcanas. This could be like a gift that somebody gives you. This could be something special. I also have these earrings here. So I invite you to think about something in your life where you're like, those are my bad bitch shoes. Those are my bad bitch earrings. That is my, like, for example, this necklace, it has a blue butterfly on it. Blue is associated with the throat chakra. When I wear this necklace, I'm reminded to speak my truth. So think about an item that you have. And this isn't meant to be a permanent crutch. This is meant to be a temporary aid while you're stepping into this future version of yourself that you can start to use. And you're going to be using this in the meditation that we're going to do today to anchor in this future self energy. So I invite you to come up with an item and you can grab it or you can think about it, even coming to mind and just having this item with you. This item is going to be your anchor into this confident future version of yourself that you're going to be stepping into. With those questions that I just asked you, what does it mean to trust yourself? What is your relationship to uncertainty? And what is your relationship to safety? We're going to be channeling these questions and answering them from the version of this confident future self, from this version of you that is your confident future self. And so using your amulet, using your major arcana, you're going to bring this into the space. We're going to infuse this with Reiki, tap into this energy, and we're going to merge these versions of you, and you are going to step out of this as the most confident version of yourself. Now, before we do this as well, this masterclass was titled Manifest Confidence to Create the Life, Career, Love of Your Dreams. While confidence can be used to manifest absolutely anything, I invite you to think about a goal or something that you are currently working towards that you haven't been able to achieve that has rattled your confidence. Something where you feel like you're blocked, something where you would even seek the external counsel of some sort of coach or some sort of support. Something in your life where you're just like, no matter what I try, I don't feel like I can get this right. And this is going to be an active marker to your subconscious mind that moving forward, this is no longer a problem. And this is no longer something that you struggle with. So we're going to start this process today. We're going to have this as your marker, as this like physical amulet. Items hold so much significance. This is like a trophy. This is like any significant item. First and foremost, I want you to write out a goal for yourself or write out something. So for example, let's say that you've been really struggling to attract a relationship. You're going to be, in a sense, handing this item over to the universe in the way that we talked about the 50 Cent quote earlier. You can pray or you can worry, but you can't have both. This is going to be an offering where we're saying, I am choosing to no longer worry about this area of my life. This is the goal. And then we're going to tap into this energy. So with that, grab your item. Go ahead and center into the space. And you'll have time to write everything down. I invite you to call forth in mind an area of life where you feel like you've been struggling, where life has felt harder than it's needed to, and where your confidence has been rattled. You're going to be calling back this energy to you. You can have the item in your hands. And sitting. I invite you to start to feel this energy returning to you. I invite you to envision a time from your past. And I invite you to envision the first memory when you just remember you've truly channeled the energy of confidence. I invite you to feel the energy coursing through your body. Just a moment when you were younger, where you really stood up for yourself and you really took control back. Where it felt like your circumstances were going in a direction that you didn't like and you kind of snapped out of it and completely redirected the energy. And I invite you to feel this energy just coursing through your veins. Feel it in your body as if it's happening right now. The fact that you did this at a point in the past means that this energy and this shift is available to you now. Breathing into that. Observing this area of your life where your life's just felt unnecessarily hard or like a struggle. And recognizing that this is another one of those pivotal moments. This masterclass, this moment, this breath. This gets to be a line in the sand. And it doesn't mean that you need to force or hustle or manifest. It just means that you get to decide and set the conscious intention that the way things were is no longer the way that they need to be. And I invite you to sit with the version of yourself who's already overcome this challenge and who's on the other side of this obstacle. This can be the version of yourself 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line. And I invite you to see how they're showing up energetically. And I invite you to ask yourself, this future version of you, what does it mean to trust yourself? And the answer might not come in words. It might come in a feeling. It might come in an ability to answer this question later in a different way. It might come in a physiological change. You might feel yourself getting warmer, colder, shivering. This is an energetic transmutation. I invite you to ask this future version of you, the wise one who knows. What is your relationship to uncertainty? I invite you to ask this future version of yourself. What is your relationship to safety? Feeling this process already starting to shift your energy. Again, you don't need to consciously get the answers in this moment, but when you come out of this exercise, you'll have the ability to sit and journal and see how the energy has changed. As you're holding your item, this is your reminder that you have everything you need in this moment to make it past this challenge. There's a future version of you who already has it figured out. And the way to walking that path is not by asking for external feedback or worrying or intellectualizing. It's trusting yourself and trusting the way that you feel internally. Learning to rely on your internal guidance, even during times of uncertainty. You can sit here as long as you like, staying in the meditation, or you can start to call your energy back. Bring your energy back into the room. I invite you to wiggle your fingers, your toes, stretch. So with this, the exercise that we just did, you're going to have an opportunity. I'm going to email you the journal prompts, the same ones that we answered today. I really invite you to sit in this energy and see how your physiological state has changed, see how your relationship to these things have changed, and make sure you drink a lot of water. We just moved a tremendous amount of energy. This was an incredibly energetic practice. And that's what I really hope that you take away from this masterclass. Confidence is an energetic game. And we think that all this effort is required to get to where we want to go, and we have to take the actions and do the things. And while that's all required to a degree, it really is getting your energy on board and making a decision that you're done with the way that things are and you're excited and ready and willing to handle what comes next. This is the kind of work that I do with clients. It's highly customized, so it really is catered around to what you're specifically working on. We worked with a lot of different areas today, and you kind of picked the one that resonated the most with you. The work that I do with clients is primarily on the sacral chakra. It's really related to your confidence. It's really related to the way that you show up in the world. And while those external gains, those are going to be the byproducts, because you're going to get to a place where that safety and security that you feel within yourself can never be taken from you, and you can never be truly rattled by your external circumstances. There's going to be a special offer for those of you who attended the masterclass. I'll be sending details with a link. I'm currently offering an opportunity to get a free month of coaching with me. And I also have a special price in place for 1 month of private coaching. I want to thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this workshop, please make sure to share about it on Instagram. You can also share this with a friend. If you're interested in checking out the podcast or the book, appreciate your support so much. And I just want to get this work into the hands of more people so that we can become more empowered in our lives and stop letting external circumstances that have nothing to do with our internal worth dictate the way we feel about ourselves. So it's time to take the power back. It's time to energetically reclaim that which you've lost along the way. And you have a tangible, physical reminder of who you have become. Thank you so much for joining me today.